How you doing, Andy? It's Todd.
Hey, Coach Todd Hilderbrand, who's joining us ahead of a huge game tonight for the Sanford Spartans. First of all, we haven't talked since the big game last Friday. Congratulations and a slow golf clap for you.
Well, I appreciate it. The boys came out, as a group, and they were flying around. I could kind of feel it during pregame. And right from the kickoff, we took that first drive, and probably the best drive of the season to date for us. We truly just played some smash mouth football, led by James Franco and Ricky Callis, of course, and they did a good job. They did a very good job that first drive, and then obviously into the rest of the first half, and we were able to take care of business. And, I kind of walked away with a win that was a comfortable win, I guess I'll call it, at best. And, there was other things that went on that were beyond just touching the ball that I liked what I saw. I saw some really good downfield blocking, a block punt from Drew McGrath, things like that I think are imperative to finding wins, especially when we get into some tighter games than what we had on Friday, of course.
Absolutely. Coach Todd Hilderbrand from the Sanford Spartans joining me for Call with the Coach ahead of the varsity football game tonight, which you can hear on your radio at 7 o'clock. Len Wild will have all the action. It's homecoming, it's Noble, and it's next level tonight. How is everybody feeling ahead of the game?
We're excited. It's a fun week for the kids, fun week for the school, of course. There's a lot of things that are going on with homecoming, of course, being this week. And I know the kids, have the homecoming dance on Saturday night. So, there's some excitement there. Everyone asking with dates and stuff like that. So that's been fun to kind of see that from afar. But honestly, in regards to the football, we're trying to have a good week of practice. Dealing with some injuries right now, like everyone else, but we're fighting through that. And I'd like the focus level that we've had in practice with getting ready for a good Noble team. We're going to have to be a physical team. We're going to have to be a team that's going to have to get off the ball. And quite frankly, we've got to be able to run the football. And if we can do that, we can complement it with our passing. I like where we can stand throughout this game and, get ourselves into a close battle, probably going into the fourth quarter, I hope. So that would be great.
Yeah, just to have a chance and to make that highlight reel with those big fourth quarter heroics. Coach Todd Hilderbrand of the Sanford Spartans is my guest here this morning. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you played high school ball yourself, right?
I did. Yes, I played for Danvers High School. I was a quarterback and a receiver throughout those years, also a defensive back, but I was definitely an offensive-focused player. Quarterbacking was a true passion of mine, all the way back to when I was probably going into high school.
Well, that's awesome. Now go back to your high school self, getting ready for the homecoming game. What was 17-year-old Coach Todd like?
I love football. So for me, those Friday nights were, I can tell you, I could probably give you details of every Friday night I had on a varsity level. But just the build up to it, I'd say getting out of school and, and having New Jersey on and, being around the other students and, having that fall feel that we're going to have tomorrow night and, what I had back in those days. There's nothing like it, and I'll say that about anything, in terms of, outside of you're getting married, having a baby, those type of things. But in terms of like individual, feelings for a football player, there's nothing like a Friday night. And I would just tell you that the build up to it, and then those butterflies that you get going into the pregame, and just wanting your team and hoping that your team does everything that you practice for the week, and then when it does go off right, like it did last week against Edward Little, there's not much better feelings on that sideline throughout the rest of that second half. So that's always the goal. It's never that easy, obviously, but we do try to build it up so that we can be ready for just about anything we see. And they're going to bring a challenge that we know is coming.
That is awesome, man. And now you get to shepherd the youth in here in Sanford towards the homecoming game and help them create memories that are going to be as strong as the ones that you hang on to today after all these years of your high school play. Yeah. So, hey, great momentum going into Friday. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us before the game. And go Spartans tonight there, Coach Todd.
We appreciate it, and we'll do our best to get a W here tonight. Thank you.
Your County's morning show.